today, February 4th, 2026, Berlin Conservation Commission meeting. As a reminder, open session public meetings are subject to being recorded. Your voice and image will be recorded. Live on YouTube forever. All right, well, let's just skip right to our first hearing.
Okay.
So, technically, it's posted at 7:03, huh? So, we do have 3 minutes we have to
Okay.
kill. Review and approve the minutes.
Sounds good. Yeah, so there was a second round of the minutes that were sent out with one correction to who made the motion to close it. So going off of that second document that was sent out, if everyone had a chance to review those minutes.
I might have reviewed old ones, because I sent that note just before the meeting. I'm like,
So-
oh, she couldn't have updated it. Just, I really missed that.
Yes, that is the update that I'm
Oh,
referring
they're the
to.
one from my email? Oh, okay.
Yes.
I was,
Yep.
wow, you're quick. I think I just sent that like 45 minutes ago.
So was there another amendment?
It was about the update to who made the motion for the,
Oh, I see.
right.
Yeah,
is that
it just said
correct?
me and Walter, and I was like, well, I
Yeah.
wasn't there, and I doubt Walter was
Yeah.
either, so.
Awesome. All right, so someone want to make a motion to approve the updated minutes?
Can I motion since I wasn't there?
I move to approve the updated minutes.
Well, did you watch the video?
No.
Then I don't know if we could approve them because without
No.
you, then it's not a quorum.
It's not a quorum.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
So,
So-
I mean,
What's the video?
We can revisit it
Pardon?
if Phil
What
shows
was
up.
the video?
Yep.
The video of the meeting that's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll wait till the next 7:02. Real quick, do the treasurer's report, and
Treasurer's
then that should
report.
get us there.
we have one update, an addition of $95 to the wetlands account from the NOI filing fee for 88 Carter Street.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, by the time you get up here, so Scott Levangie.
I'm gonna come up and I'll introduce myself quick.
All right. And sign, and if you can sign in and then hand the sign-in sheet to the
Yep.
rest of the people.
That'll burn your minute.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, to
All right.
introduce myself?
Yes, sir.
We'll get
We
going.
got it, 7:03.
Awesome. So my name is Seth Donahoe. I'm with Phyllis and Roy Civil Design Group. And as mentioned, Scott is the homeowner and applicant for this at 88 Carter Street. So we submitted a notice of intent for us to put a garage on the side of the house. The garage is partially within an existing driveway and lawn area. I have a color-coded handout to help with the discussion. If it's okay if I pass that around? Sure. Thank you.
Still going. Thank you. You guys want to share? Mm-hmm. All right.
Any more?
Just one for the chair.
Or you can get it.
Sorry.
Great.
Put it right side up.
I have it on a thumb drive if you want it on your screen too, but I think for now. this
Yeah, I
covers
think
it.
this is
Good enough.
Yeah.
So color-coded on your plan, so this is 88 Carter Street. To the rear of the house is a bordering vegetated wetland, which is essentially at the limit of lawn and coincides with a shrub line in that area. Behind or south of the BVW, there is a perennial stream. The entirety of this property is within the 100-foot buffer zone and 100 and 200-foot riparian zone. The 100-foot riparian zone just clips a portion of the existing driveway. So on that plan that I've passed out to you, there's a color-coded gray hatched area, that's the existing driveway. And then there's a red line surrounding the proposed garage that's 26 feet wide by 22 feet deep. And then there's a tan area that's highlighted, and that's the portion of the garage that'll be, well, it's within existing lawn area, DEP doesn't consider lawn area degraded area, so we would be converting that to degraded area. That equates to 476 square feet of additional degraded area, and we're mitigating that at a 1-to-1 ratio, giving back some of the lawn. So we're planting that with some native plants. We have a table on the side of your plan to offset that alteration. From DEP's standpoint, and probably the commission's, generally something that's in the riverfront area, they have the requirement that the structure will be no closer to the stream than what's existing. So we've called out those specific dimensions. The existing structure is 47.1 feet to the stream, and then we're proposing 53.4 feet with the proposed garage. And the same distances, they're slightly smaller, but the same thing holds true for distance to the bordering vegetated wetland. We're not going any closer to the bordering vegetated wetland than what's existing. There's a tabulation of all the riverfront area. I've just given you a quick summary that we have a slight increase in degraded area. And again, that's being offset by the planting area at the rear of the property.
Right, and the 1-to-1 is because it's a small enough, I know that there's is there a threshold at which you have to do more than a 1-to-1?
So the 2-to-1 comes in if you are going to go over the allowable riverfront area alteration. They allow you to do more restoration on site, but in this case, they're not breaking that threshold.
Right.
They're
That's-
underneath that.
Yep.
So that's why we're here in a nutshell. Again, it's a garage within the existing driveway area, and a portion of it's an existing deck area. So we'd be happy to address any questions that you may have for this.
Julia, did you happen to upload the pictures that came with the NOI of the existing?
No, I did
No,
not.
okay.
So I can
Just-
pass those around in paper
Oh,
form if you want
yeah,
that.
it's just, because
for,
actually, she did send, did everybody look at the NOI?
I do have copies of the NOI. that I
Seth
can-
has some too, right here. Yeah, just so everyone can see kind of what's existing and that it's not really
I'll make this real easy in that.
that big a deal. Yeah,
I was gonna say, it doesn't seem like it.
yeah.
My pen's not working great on the ink, but I think you can use your imagination. So that's that page, and if you flip to the next page, there's actually a picture of the rear yard.
Right, that was more the one that, when I saw that, I was like, oh, all right.
Yep. So that, and there's no tree removal, no expansion of lawn area, and in fact, a decrease in lawn area due to the mitigation area on this.
So really, go ahead.
Oh, may I ask, what kind of vegetation is in this restoration area right now? Is that grass?
It is grass, yeah, so we'd be converting that to a native planting area. So that's gonna
Thank
be
you.
high bush blueberries, silky dogwood, and sensitive fern, along with New England wetlands plants, wildlife mix, spread throughout.
So the only digging, the only real, other than, you know, the proximity of a building to the riverfront, the only thing we really have to be concerned about is during the foundation, putting in the foundation. Is it gonna be a full foundation?
Well, it's a garage, so it's a frost wall with a slab essentially.
Right.
And so we've shown, there's a highlighted yellow line, and to the side, the east side, there's a highlighted area that's calling out where the erosion control barrier is. So that doesn't even go past the existing shed, or it goes to the rear of the existing deck. So it's a small work area, and then the stockpile area is designated up towards the street, and that's within the lawn area as well. So the stockpile area would be surrounded by erosion control barriers throughout the construction process, which will probably be pretty brief. I assume you want to start this as soon as possible,
Yes.
but it's probably not going to start next week.
Right,
because
right, 'cause
you've got
the
pretty-
frozen ground part of it.
They'd have to get rid of feet of snow.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, so just so that you understand from our perspective, you know, the whole purpose of, you know, you having to come in and all of that is for us to have a conversation about, you know, you live in an environmentally sensitive place. And, you know, we like to make sure you're aware of that. and, you know, ask that you, like, don't fertilize the lawn and stuff like that, because that runoff can get into the stream. But during the construction, mostly what we're worried about is loose soil making its way into the BVW and then into the stream, you know, that clogs the whole works. So just for your knowledge. And that's why it's so important to put the stockpile as far away from the riverfront as possible. So the only other thing in the packet, can I see that? The erosion controls, I believe I saw are just wattles.
That's what's proposed. So
Since,
it's a pretty flat lot,
is it,
but if you were requesting something, if you wanted silt fence and wattles, we would certainly be open to that being a condition of the
yeah,
project.
especially because the work's happening in the spring, and you never know what we're gonna get anymore. The odds of, you know, a heavy storm washing something in there. This way. Does anybody else have feelings about silt fence, wattles?
You know how I feel about wattles, plastic.
I just had a question about the end of this dashed highlighted line. I know it meets up with the deck, but it looks from the photo that the deck is kind of raised. Would it go like underneath the deck to the foundation, or would it
The
just
intent would, yeah, for it to be a U shape, so it
Okay.
would enclose the area.
Right, and so, the wattles, we want the jute wattles.
Okay.
Yep. Does anybody else have any concerns, questions?
So we are gonna do the silt fence and the wattles?
Well, I guess that's our the question is, do
I
we?
agree with you, springtime is probably not a bad idea.
Dealer's choice on that one.
Yeah, yeah, and I'd rather be cautious, it's not a giant area. I would feel more comfortable if there was a silt fence as well. So jute wattles, silt fence, and also around the stockpile. Do we? No, I think just, so what, I did not see what is called out to protect the stockpile. Is it gonna be covered? Is it just wattles? Is it?
So those are in the erosion control notes. There would be sufficient wattles or barriers on site. If it were to sit for a long period of time, which is highly unlikely on
Right.
this site, it would have to be hydroseeded or temporarily stabilized with some type of
Right.
seeding. I don't think, given the small area, they're not gonna be dealing with a huge mound of dirt
Right.
there.
Right, and if you do the silt fence along the erosion control barrier, I think just the wattles on site, if necessary, for the stockpile is fine.
That's number 5. Erosion control.
Yep.
I just have gotten that.
Anything else?
I think we need a sidewalk before they start.
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think this is pretty cut
2-minute
and
drive
dry.
if you need it.
Yeah, right. All right. If no one else has any questions, can we get, so just actually before we do that, I assume it's not gonna take very long once the construction starts as well.
We haven't looked into any contractors yet for it, because we're waiting to see how this process played out.
Okay,
But ideally, it
right.
should move pretty quickly, hopefully.
Okay, and then who is gonna do the restoration planting?
So we can certainly help Scott do that on his own, give him sources for the plants.
Okay.
If there's any type of monitoring that's needed with it, we can provide a checklist that he can submit to you, or if he felt it was needed to have one of us come out and update that as well. I assume that the boilerplate condition for this, or special condition, would be that it has a survivability over a certain number of growing seasons, probably 2 growing seasons.
Yep.
So that would have to be documented before a request for certificate of compliance.
Yes.
We haven't actually talked about that yet, because this was they wanted to make sure that it was feasible to
Sure.
do this, so you're our first stop.
Okay. Yeah, so we definitely would want, monitoring is kind of a big word for what really would need to happen, but we definitely need to make sure that the plants are planted and take and survive. And so usually, we get a report, it needs to be looked at a couple of times a year for the first couple of years, to make sure. And then, once you put in an application for a certificate of compliance saying, hey, I did the work the way I was supposed to, take this off my deed, we would come out and look at it. So we will make that a condition as well. All right, now I'm ready for a motion. Oh.
Quick question.
Yeah.
That will include, the special conditions will include the ones that were voted upon by the commission, like the standard ones, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And close the hearing first.
Oh, yes. Actually, I don't know that we officially opened the hearing, so, can I have a motion to close the hearing? Oh, what is the DEP number?
1070283.
So moved.
Close the hearing for 0283. A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Phil. Any further discussion about closing the meeting? Hearing none, I'll ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now, can I get a motion to approve DEP file number 1070283 for 88 Carter Street, notice of intent?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Going once? Hearing none, I'll ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too, Seth. Good to see you.
You as well.
All right.
Next on the agenda, we have 21 Carr Road, who is here for
25.
25, sorry, yep. 25 Carr Road, who is here for pre-filing informal discussion.
Yep, really just more a function of making sure I've got my paperwork correct to give to you, so I believe I'm on I put in the ad for next
For
meeting,
the
the
next
18th.
meeting. Yep.
So you guys are meeting the 18th.
Yep.
So what I've got is I've got a copy of the meeting request,
Oh, awesome.
and then I've got a copy of my DEP filing. And I'm not sure, have you guys seen what I uploaded to, I talked to Julie about this a few times over the week. Again, oh, there it is right there.
Yep.
I also have
Hoping that that's sufficient, it's the only thing I could find. Basically, again, thank you for those who came out, I recognize you guys, some didn't make it.
Yep.
It's a pre-existing foundation that was poured about 10 years ago, and we're looking to just I finally put the barn up. It had a permit,
So,
permit expired,
I think it's
so there's no site
No.
work being done. We're literally just gonna be going on top of what's there, and that's it.
Jim?
Chris.
Chris.
Sorry.
Close.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot happening on this.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, can you, can you just, so the building on this plan that is marked
So
barn?
very good, yes, actually right now, look at this. Yeah, so the barn on the plan is where the barn is on the ground, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does,
So-
except for kind of in context with where the road is. Like that's why it seemed more, but maybe it was just
So the-
where we were standing.
Yeah, so
and,
the Randall Road section, you see there really is just a gravel road
Mhm.
that kind of spurs up. You can see the little house that we had right to our backs. There, you know, it is a tight little spot there. Even Sawyer going up the other way back towards Bolton is also gravel. So if you can imagine, the pavement kind of stops a little bit past the house, and again, I should have thought to have highlighted this or colored it. And then there's a paved driveway onto the golf course property that we kind of stood on, looking at the foundation hole.
Right.
Looking at the foundation itself, actually.
yeah, so if you could mark up a copy
Okay,
for the hearing,
yep,
that would be great.
sure.
Just
Yeah, I'll see if I can get it enlarged, you know,
yeah,
because this is all I could find in the file. I even went to the assessors, like, they don't have a lot. And the course was opened in '54,
right.
and again, like I said previously, I'm trying to spare the client having to get surveys done, and, like you said, he just wants to get a barn up to take all the debris, or I shouldn't say debris, all the machinery and such, and put it in the building,
Right,
which
right.
would
Yeah.
be good. But, so, yeah, I'll see if
So
I can
I-
actually get this blown up, and I'll actually,
Yeah, just kind of draw in what
Okay.
really is existing.
Yep.
That would be helpful.
perfect. I can do that. So I guess that being said, the one thing I think I do owe you guys, and I wasn't sure if I did or not since we did a site visit, was pictures, which I can take and upload between now and the next meeting,
Okay.
if that's what you want.
Yeah, I took some as well,
Yeah.
but,
I mean, it's a
yeah,
matter of
so
foot of snow
that's-
now, so,
yeah, that was the first snow that we had.
right, the dusting.
Yep.
All right, so I think I've got everything else, and I guess, hopefully between now and next meeting, you or Julie can let me know if I'm missing anything.
Okay,
But,
awesome.
there it is, so I'm gonna hand that off to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and that's it. Anybody have any questions? I mean,
Yeah, no, I think all of us except for you were on the site visit,
Yeah.
yep.
so.
How are you doing? You were,
No.
okay, good. It happened, listen, I got a concussion in my driveway about a month ago. It's bad out there.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, awesome. Well, if anything comes up between now and next meeting, let me know. I'll get pictures and this
yeah.
up
Yeah,
before,
I
but-
think just kind of helping to make this a little clearer.
Yep.
Would be beneficial.
Yeah, like I said, I'll see if I can enlarge it and then just kind of highlight or, kind of.
Yeah, color, kind of like,
Exactly.
so, what he did here.
Exactly, that's beautiful. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure it'll be that.
Yeah, that's okay. You can
I
even
was
use
gonna say I'm more of
crayons,
a
yeah.
crayon than that, so.
Maybe colored pencils.
There we go. I'll do my best.
All
Awesome.
right.
Well, thank you very much. Have a great
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you, Chris.
I got the cast off Monday and the
All
stitches out
right.
yesterday.
Next up, we have Coolidge Brook, and I.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Julia, you can find it?
Yes, if the screen comes back. We got it plugged in the back.
I don't think you can get the plug back in, can you? That could change.
Oh, no. Maybe unplug it and plug it back in? Universal fix for all technology.
We turn this off and on.
It's on your screen. No, well,
I know, it was. It just all of a sudden just went off, blinked out.
Yeah. This will work.
why is it unhappy?
Oh, no. usually just plug it in and it finds it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Control it.
Huh.
Oops,
There we
look at
go.
that,
There
you
we
found
go.
it. Excellent.
All right. All right.
Yep.
So,
All right.
why don't you introduce yourself and how you got to be sitting here?
How I got to be sitting here. All right, I'm Paul Anderson. I've been in town for 40 years. I used to be on the Conservation Commission maybe 25 or 30 years ago, also the Zoning Board of Appeals. And right now I'm still in the Economic Development Commission, or committee, not a commission. So how did I get here? 10, 15 years ago, I knew Emerson and Karen Chandler. We've been getting Christmas trees at their farm for years. And Emerson was somebody who used to work for Mass Wildlife, and he took care of Coolidge Brook behind his house. He made sure that it was a great cold water environment and a brook that supported eastern brook trout, wild eastern brook trout. And when SA Farm started operating, Emerson noticed that there are things maybe the stream was starting to change. So he asked me, we got more in touch, and then we started talking about stuff. They started passing me information that he was getting from Mass DEP, and Karen, since Emerson's passing, has been doing the same thing. So that's how I got involved. That's where my involvement has been in there, and it's been sort of gathering the information. And so what's happened in the last summer, I was appointed to ORS. You guys have been dealing with ORS because you've been dealing with Wheeler Dam. So I got appointed to the board of directors at ORS. So that's where I've been, and I'm on the Science and Policy Committee at ORS. And I presented some of this to them, and I said, would ORS be interested in further pursuing to understand what Berlin and what Northborough and what Mass DEP understand about what's happening here? Are these all the data that exist? Are there more data? So it's really almost an information gathering mission that I'm on, partly for myself, but also now, once all that gets gathered and once ORS figures out what's available, they need to figure out, all right, they want to protect the watershed of the Assabet. Clearly that's included in the Assabet and also the Sudbury and Concord rivers. What are the next steps if these are all the data that in fact are out there? And so that's sort of what I'm after. Mostly that's why I reached out to you, is to say, here's what I've been able to find, and I can go over that. And is there anything else that you guys know about? Or I've also reached out to Northborough. I sent them the same information packet. They have not gotten back to me. But I also think their conservation agent, Mr. Fignali, I think is his name. I think that's his name.
I think so.
He was supposed to, the folks at ORS said, he's been saying he's gonna retire. He may have retired in December. So he may have been gone by the time I sent this to him. So I have not heard back from Northborough.
Right.
So, and I sent today this package of information to Andrea Briggs. She is the acting director of the Central Region of the Worcester office of the Mass DEP.
Oh, cool.
So we'll see what
I know, right?
I do know a little bit about that stream, okay?
Okay.
I don't remember exactly the dates, but at one point Emerson was very, very upset because there were fish in that stream, and the fish were all dead,
They are dead.
and it came from SA Farms,
That is correct.
right?
Yep.
So, yes, so should we go through this? But you're absolutely right, and that's what we're trying to understand. ORS is trying to understand, I'm trying to understand, okay,
Right.
that's what's happened. It's still happening, there aren't fish there.
Whoop.
Okay.
Oh, we're not moving. I should be getting up and walking.
I know, right?
Right. And
thing the
he
TV's on.
was taken to court about what he was doing at SA Farms.
He was, but
Yes.
related
So,
to,
press it and hold it.
Hold it.
Yep.
related to
until-
air
wait,
releases.
see the
So you'll
counter
see
going
in
up.
this
Oh, there we go.
presentation,
Thank you.
as far as I know, there hasn't been much action at all taken with regard to the surface water other than some measurements, or groundwater other than some measurements. And so I'll talk a little bit about the groundwater too. From a public health point of view, it's kind of interesting to potentially alarming for some folks potentially in Berlin, but certainly in Northborough too, so.
Does he still own the property?
That's who? The owner, SA Farm? Oh, yeah, that's, yes.
Santa
Yeah,
Enzo.
Santos
Yeah.
Enza still owns the
Yes.
farm. As far as I know, he still owns the property.
And is he still doing what he was doing, the bringing garbage in?
Composting.
So okay, I do not know. I know as part of the settlements and some of the things that happened back in the late teens and early 20s or so, 2020s,
yeah.
there were restrictions put on what he can do and what he can bring in. The things that happened, and I mean, if we pop up to the very,
Yeah, I mean, we can go in, I didn't mean
Yeah,
to
no, so you go to
get
the
you
next
to
page.
go out of order.
you guys know where it is, so I don't have to go through where it is.
Well, just for the audience.
For the audience.
Right.
That takes Road?
Maybe.
Maybe. I play pickleball with my wife.
I do.
Yes. So that's, you can see the town line, that's the site, there's Whitney Street, there's the
Right,
River
so,
Road Rotary.
Yeah, point out where the hotel is.
The hotel would be right here? Yes, the
Yeah.
hotel is right here, and the apartments are right here. Am I right on that? I think so, yes, I am, yep. The post office is right
Yeah,
here,
no, I know where
right
it
there.
is.
And so
Yeah.
these circles are, this is 500 feet, and this is half a mile. And, from a DEP point of view, I guess that's important. I haven't looked into that, but, there are wetlands. One of the interesting things is there's a public water supply down in here within Alden Drive. I mean, they have their own, they're wells that serve that little community. Because they serve multiple residences, it's actually considered a public water supply, and they have to be doing measurements and monitoring and stuff like that. So within the half a mile, there's a public water supply, and then this is the one that's further away. So folks have a sense of where things are, right? So if you go to the next one, and keep going. Oh wait, no, one back. Sorry, I made you go too far. Can you go back one? There it is. So I'm not gonna go through all the history, but you're absolutely right. There's a lot of stuff that happened back here, and if you go to the Worcester Telegram website, or even just go to the internet and say, hey, Worcester Telegram, SA Farm, you will find all sorts of information about what happened there. And I'm not gonna go through any of that and we'll talk about that or do anything like that. All
Yeah,
right,
there
I
was-
just wanted folks to know, there's a lot of information that's happened in the past. That's not what this presentation's about. This is about Coolidge Brook surface water and touching on groundwater.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, and I just was wondering if the damage was potentially continuing, that's all.
so that's a great question. In terms of the odors, those haven't happened since all of this came down.
Right.
In terms of air releases, I don't have any new information about that. The kinds of releases that occurred 5 or 10 years ago
Sure.
are not occurring right now, as far as I can tell.
Right.
Or know. So let's talk about, go on to the next one now. So in terms of what's happened in Coolidge Brook, you can go, that's fine. This is, first section is just Coolidge Brook. So again, back to, there's what was Wheeler Pond. This is where the dam is, right? That's presumably gonna come out soon. The site is here. The raised aqueduct runs along here. The railroad tracks run along there. The section of Coolidge Brook that we're really talking about is sort of the groundwater and the releases from SA Farm sort of are heading to the northwest. And so they're hitting in here as far as they've measured. I mean, they've really only, DEP's only sort of monitored in this area right around there. So are there further, has it moved further? We don't know. But the portion of Coolidge Brook we're interested in, where they've been doing the monitoring, is right in there, within that light green circle. So if you keep going to the next one. One of the things that, Emerson and had Mass Wildlife come out several times, I believe. The most recent time was in 2012. And they went and they surveyed 86 meters of the brook, and, they found 50 eastern brook trout. They were all the way from 71 millimeters, that's about 3 or 4 inches, not very big, but 278 millimeters is 27.8 centimeters. That's a 10 or 11 inch brook trout. Anybody who caught a 10 or 11 inch brook trout around
Would
here
be
on Fly
thrilled.
would be really thrilled. So, over 4 year classes within the stream, so they conclude, as you can read, that, hey, this is an excellent cold water fishery that should be protected. And there's a report that sort of summarizes that. And that fishery, I think, to your point, is gone. It disappeared, and it continues to not be there. So if you go to the next one, although I don't know that anybody has actually gone back and surveyed to see whether there are fish there or not. But if you talk to Mrs. Chandler, she would say, oh, the flock and the sort of, what used to be nice clean gravel has now got gray flock on it and whatever, and so she doesn't, the stream hasn't recovered visually.
Right.
The sampling, so again, this is the site down in here. These blue lines sort of suggest that this is the measure of groundwater height, so it's moving from sort of a higher area here in this direction. So north is this way, west is that way, so it's sort of the west-northwest. I won't come back to it, but these are all residences over here in Northborough, and there are residences over here in Berlin. They sampled the stream from here. This is the furthest upstream. Not clear it's actually background yet, because the groundwater is heading that way, and they have some wells in here that have been affected. So it's not clear whether this is actually background, and then they sampled all the way down to pretty much here is their last metal sampling area, but they've also done a couple of samples down in here of pH. So there are about 5 or 6 sampling locations on the creek, and this is from upstream to downstream. So you go to the next one.
So when you say metals, you mean heavy metals?
Oh,
Like
they are. They've looked for a lot of metals, but in particular, the ones that look like they're the main actors. pH, so acidity, and the releases and the groundwater from the releases from SA Farm is quite acidic, and that acidity is getting into the stream, so you can sort of look at maybe sort of upstream, if you believe that the furthest upstream is that SW4. It was measured at about an average of 6.1. It's ranged from 4.9 to 6.4. In the lab, it's sort of ranged from 6.3 to 7 and 6.6. So it would be at the low, it would be meeting in general, or almost meeting the chronic criteria that are out there. These are the criteria. So this last column is the chronic criteria for the first two groups are pH. Then there's aluminum, and then there's nickel, and then this is sort of the acute criterion. There isn't an acute criterion for pH. There is for aluminum, and there is for nickel. So as you move downstream, the pH doesn't really change very much. It's sort of in the upper 5s to low 6s, which is, remember pH. It isn't like 30%. It's pH is in log units. So if it goes from 6.5 to 5.5, it's 10 times more acidic. It's not just like a little bit more acidic.
Yep.
So 5.7, 5.8 is probably 5 or 6 times more acidic than than where it should be from a criteria point of view. So pH is low, lower, and that's sort of probably what's driving a lot of the release of the metals is this low pH, and the DEP has done a report on this. And so you begin to see aluminum in particular, nickel as well, but we can focus on aluminum. Background concentration, again, why do I say SW4 may not be background? Well, a chronic criteria is 87 parts per billion, I believe that's what this is. And it's at 654, so it's almost 10 times higher. It's below the maximum, the acute criterion, which says as long as it's not above 750, it doesn't cause acute effects. It may still be chronic effects. So it's below that. But as soon as you go downstream, it jumps by about 10 to even more fold than that. So it's way high. It's not surprising the trout don't appear to be back. I mean, these are measurements. The last time they measured was sort of in 2019. Some of the concentrations have gone down a little bit, so these are averages. But still, you can see from 2017 to 19, even the low end at Beauregard, which is the furthest down that they've sampled, the chronic criteria is the acute criteria is 750. The range is between 10,000 and 12,000. So it's more than 10 times higher.
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise that with with this being the acute criterion and it being exceeded by 10 or more fold, that there are trout having come back.
Sure.
And nickel is sort of the same story, not as extreme. And they measure lots of other metals too. I mean, I could give you the list of those. These are the two that really are, and it's really aluminum that's exceeding it. And so and I think this is it for, if you go to the next table, I think that's it. So from a brook point of view in the trout, they, as far downstream as DEP is sampled, they have high pH and aluminum exceeding criteria, and nickel doing the same thing. And I guess the question is, do you guys know of any other work that's been done by anybody further downstream of where the Beauregards used to live? I think the Totos own it now, or their in-laws own it now, or into Northbrook or anything like that.
Right, I mean, they definitely, the property that the Totos own that abuts
Yeah.
the stream, they have definitely done work.
Yep.
There were the two houses on the
Yes.
property, they
Yep.
demoed one of them.
Demoed one, yep.
And then the work to the other house has been minimal.
Right.
So I'm not aware, we're not aware of any work that they would be doing that should be impactful and any, I mean.
Why would they monitor for aluminum? I mean, there's,
Right.
yeah.
So what are there guesses as to what might be causing high aluminum? Like
Yeah.
what kind of toxins?
Yeah, it's the low pH. It's the acidic, I mean, they have, when they drilled some of the on-site wells on the DEP was drilling some of the monitoring wells on the SA Farm property itself, I think they had pH at some point of like 2.5.
Wow.
So 10,000 times lower than what,
Or more
the criteria
acidic.
would, more acidic, yes,
Yes.
10,000 times more acidic. So I think, and there's a report, I cited in, where is it? And I can get you, if you guys want the report, there's a report that talks about, the DEP has something called the FAST team. And in 2016, yeah, it's on page 10. They actually have, it's a decent report. It's 15, 20 pages long of text, and they have a theory of what's causing that. It's the acidity that is releasing from the rocks that are there, the metals concentrations. And
Right.
so that's what's happening. They're getting leached out by the acidity.
Right.
And that's how they're getting into the groundwater. And then the groundwater discharges into the stream, and so that's how it's getting into the stream.
Right.
So the property now, the SA Farm property now looks like a junkyard. If you're going down.
Yeah, down Whitney, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's a mess.
Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't look dramatically different than it has for the last 10 or 15 years,
No.
right? I mean, I think there's, of the kind of activity that occurred, the filling that happened, the fill that was brought in, as far as I know, that's not happening anymore. I don't think that I think the limitations, as I understand them, about what he's able to bring into onto the property, it does precludes that kind of stuff. And
Well, the smell is definitely gone.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, because he's not composting
Right.
things. I mean, I
And
think
I mean,
that,
I live on the corner of Linden Street and Ballville Road.
okay,
I could smell it way up there.
I bet you could.
Yeah.
When it was going, yes,
Yeah,
we
it
could
was-
definitely smell it. It was big,
yeah.
it was a big deal. So, so that's really the primary reason that I want to talk. So you don't know of anything else that's happening in terms of any other kind of monitoring or anything like that?
No, so we touched on this a little bit when we were emailing about the dam removal.
Yeah.
And I'm curious as to what kind of, I know they've surveyed their land, the piece of land that
SVT
the
has,
dam.
yeah. And oars, yeah.
No,
SVT.
so, SVT, no.
No. Interfluve on behalf of, yes.
On
okay.
behalf of Robin Bonazzoli.
Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So
All right.
Robin has hired Interfluve
Fluve, okay.
to help them through the permitting process,
For the-
and then
And then the
they'll be
removal,
on
yeah.
through the removal.
Okay.
And I know that they've extensively surveyed the part of the stream and the pond.
Yeah.
That's on Robbins Land.
Right.
So I would love it. And who is, I'm not gonna be able to pull the name.
Heather? No? Oars?
Yeah, Heather. So
Yeah,
Heather is
Conti, yeah.
working
Yeah,
with
Heather's working.
Interfluve
Yes, she
also
is. That's
on
right, yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so has there been any sort of collaboration between the work you guys are doing and what they're doing?
And, so I'm not doing anything yet, right? I'm just
Okay,
still
yeah.
trying to figure this out. And I think that's one of the things that Oars is also trying to understand, right? Is how far do the effects of what's in Coolidge Brook go? I mean, it appears that it goes at least as far as they've looked in Coolidge Brook, which was to the what was called, on the maps is called Beauregard's Pond. They went that far,
Right.
but they haven't gone to where it joins North Brook. They haven't gone to North Brook itself before it gets to the dam, after it gets to the dam.
Right, and Wheeler Pond, like,
And
has
Wheeler
that
Pond,
been
nobody ever
Right.
sampled that.
So and I know that I would be interested in seeing what the pH is in Wheeler Pond.
Right, and the aluminum.
And then down the street.
Yes.
Across the street, because if Wheeler Pond is helping hold back some of this pollution
Yeah.
out of North Brook, maybe we should rethink what's happening.
It probably, given what, it's really not a pond anymore.
No, I
It's
know.
really a creek now.
Well, it's really a marsh.
It's really a marsh, although I walked it all today, so.
Did you?
Yeah, because it's frozen, you can walk it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out, why are there just tens of tracks going right down the middle of the ice? Dog tracks or whatever. I think they're dogs, maybe coyotes, I'm not sure. But they're walking on the ice because the snow is half an inch thick instead of 18 inches, so
Sure.
it's much easier to walk.
Yeah.
But I walked from Crosby all the way down to Pleasant. So it's a creek now, and at the right before the dam, it sort of widens out a little bit, but it still looks, it's not like it used to be. Where,
It's definitely, it's filled in over the years
Yeah.
and,
Yeah. And the sluice gate's lower than it used to be. I mean, I think it used
yeah,
to be
they
higher,
did
so,
lower
you know,
that, 4 or 5 years ago.
Maybe 5, 6
Yeah,
years.
that's-
Yeah,
That feels right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that feels right. So I'm not, and again, this is one of the reasons Oars is interested. I don't think that it is making a big difference. I mean, whether the dam is there or not, particularly the way the dam is now. I mean,
Sure.
the water is, if there's low acidity or elevated concentrations of aluminum in the water from Coolidge Brook into North Brook, then, there'll be some dilution as other waters run in, but it's gonna pass through and go under, across the dam and underneath Pleasant and on.
Right.
So but that's one of the questions is, one of the key, from my point of view, one of the key questions, there are two, really. The one was, is anybody trying to characterize how far it is?
Right.
How far does it go? I mean, does it stop at Coolidge Brook? Is there enough dilution in North Brook is Coolidge Brook diluted enough by North Brook that, okay, the aluminum, the pH gets to be close to normal and then aluminum metal concentrations, they drop to within criteria.
Right.
That would be great to know.
Sure.
And if they don't, okay, how far do we?
How far does it go?
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I would hope it doesn't go to the Assabet, but I don't know how much more comes into
We
North
had
Brook.
runoff from Maplewood Farms show up at the Assabet.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah.
So-
I would be shocked if there was nothing.
Given what I've seen, I haven't heard of anything, so we will see. I mean, I don't think, if anybody has sampled, it would have been Mass DEP that would have tried to do more characterization.
Right.
And my sense from talking to Karen Chandler is, when she calls, they'll come out and do some pH measurements. That's why there's some pH in 2024. But as far as she knows, nobody's looked at metals since whatever it was, 2017, 2019 in Coolidge Brook. So
Right.
if they haven't looked there, I mean, that's the first place I'd look.
Sure.
Is to say, hey, are they still elevated or have they dropped?
Right.
Because if they've dropped, that's a much better story. Okay, but if they're still elevated, then you start looking further downstream,
Sure,
so.
yeah. Are they on the agenda?
They're gonna come to next meeting.
That's what I thought.
Oh, Oars and Wheeler? Okay,
Yes.
so they postponed, because I thought Heather was gonna be here tonight, but no,
Yes,
Yeah.
they're gonna come to the next meeting.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, if you're free in 2 weeks.
I might be free, yes, I
Yeah.
can come, yeah.
Um,
But so it sounds like, I mean, I think, I'm suspecting Northborough probably, because now this really isn't in SA Farm is in Northborough, but the further downstream effects are Berlin or beyond, but it's not Northborough.
So if it can be shown that the problem is coming from SA Farm,
Yeah, I think there's little doubt about that.
right, so why can't something be done?
I do not have the answer to that
Yeah.
question.
Yeah,
I mean, that's, what well, there's two pieces of done, right? First one is just to understand what's going on, not at SA Farm, but down from a surface water point of view, downstream of Coolidge Brook, in Northbrook or in, hopefully not the Assabet River, but how
Right.
far down do elevated concentrations go? That'd be the first thing, right? And then, you're right, the second question is, all right, still happening? If it is, what's gonna be done about it? What can
Right.
be done about it? The only thing that I know of that's been done about it is, as part of their senior thesis, a couple of WPI students worked with Mass DEP, I think in 2021 or 2022, to try to come up with a pilot program for the acidic leachate. They knew the leachate or the groundwater was acidic. Could they come up with a system that you could leave in the field that would neutralize the leachate so that it could then get discharged into the brook and it wouldn't have the effects?
right, and to that end, is there something that can happen in the dam removal and the restoration of that would incorporate something like that would
good question.
act as a barrier between SA Farm and the Assabet?
Right, in the dam, something in the, I don't know, that's a great question. And again, this is now you get into sort of the question of, all right, yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't know, yes.
So I would love if you're available to come in 2 weeks, so
Right.
that we could have a conversation
Right.
with them and, find out what testing
Yeah.
they've done. Like I said, I know they've done extensive mapping.
I don't
I
think they've done
don't
testing.
know,
'Cause
right,
if I think if Interfluve had measured pH upstream, downstream, metals upstream, downstream and stuff,
you'd know
I'd
about it. Yeah.
Oars would know about it. I don't think they've done that at this. I don't think they knew to even think about doing it
Sure.
until sometime late October when I said, hey, SPC, what do you guys think about this stuff? Are you interested in pursuing it?
Right.
So I think this is kind of new. I mean, it's 2 or 3 month old news. I don't think they knew about SA Farm prior to that.
Right. So I do know that we're talking with Interfluve and Oars about going for an MVP grant to help with the removal.
Right.
And so if it's a matter of funding for restoration, we could include it in the MVP grant.
Right. You could. Yeah,
Right,
that's a good
so
idea.
now
Yeah.
would be a good time to kind of get our ducks in a row about that before any grant application is written and.
Yeah. It would also be good to understand what Mass DEP knows and what their intentions
Yeah.
are. Because one of the things that I said in the note, or the letter to Ms. Briggs was, I worked on lots of sites around the country, and it is hard for me to remember any site where basically somebody had wiped out a brook trout population.
And like nothing's being done to mitigate it from continuing,
Apparently not, yeah.
or as far as some sort of fines.
Yeah, or monitoring,
or
yeah,
monitor, or
right.
like
Yeah.
something.
So, and that was my point. I mean, I said, most of the sites I've worked on don't have the kind of effects we see here. They may be much bigger sites, and they may have effects, but they're not, they've wiped out the stream completely. they're all listed, either federal Superfund sites or state Superfund sites. This isn't even a 21E site. So why is it not listed?
Right.
I have theories, but it's, that'd be interesting to see what Ms. Briggs says about why it might not be listed, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because the listing would then say, all right, should be monitoring stuff, measuring stuff, characterizing how far the effects go, all those kinds of things that haven't happened so far,
Right.
so.
Yep. So is there a way that we can help?
So I'm not sure yet. I
Okay.
I think the first thing to do is to understand, you've helped already in that, okay, yeah, the Berlin Concom at least, there's no other information they have about the site that they can help us with in terms of, they've measured or they know about measurements or something like
Right.
that. That doesn't exist, as far as you guys know.
No.
So,
No.
yeah.
We had a member, do you remember? I'm having terrible time with names recently.
I do too.
We had a member who was trying to get in touch with DEP to find out what they knew.
Okay.
And he kept saying that they were either giving him the runaround or that their answer to him was, well, it's hard to prove point source pollution, which it seemed ridiculous at the time. You measure above it, you measure below it, and you see,
Right. Yeah, and I think the one I talked about, the FAST report in 2016 in March, they essentially say, could it have been a spill from the railroad? Could it have been something else, or whatever?
Right.
And they essentially say, could it have? Well, it maybe, but there's just no evidence of that. All the evidence points to the acidic leachate from SA Farm causing the mobilization of the levels, and that's what the source is.
Right.
So, yeah. And just, I'll give you a real quick update on just groundwater, because in some ways, it's more people seem less, we talked about, 15 years, and okay, the trout population's gone, doesn't seem to bother too many people other than, folks who are worried about trout. People worry about public health. And
Sure.
if you go to, there are also a bunch of groundwater wells. All those red things are groundwater wells that the DEP has put in. And I won't go through all of them. The key point is, and you can go through the summary in there.
And they put them in to monitor?
They have been put in to monitor, correct, and measure groundwater. This is why, because they put them in, they can measure the water level. They know the groundwater generally where they've measured, which is sort of the extent of the blue lines. The groundwater is moving, as I said, to the northwest.
Right.
I think the key things to point out are this well on the other side of the creek, or of the brook, has been affected. So it's gone under the brook, MW2. It's gone, the leachate releases from SA Farm have gone under the brook, and they've gone to at least that far. They haven't drilled any wells beyond that, so they don't know. MW5D is the deepest well and the furthest deep well that they have drilled so far. And that's down just on this side, on the SA Farm side of the brook, it's actually between the aqueduct and the railroad track.
Okay, yep.
And that exceeds. That has arsenic concentrations, and I think nickel, that exceed, they only measured it once. And if you go to the next, I think if you go to the next one, 5D, keep going, sorry. So if you go to 5D, which is the one right here, it doesn't exceed by much. The arsenic drinking water criteria is 10, and it's at 10.6. So it's not very high, but it's higher than background. Background looks like here, if you believe MW1's background, it's about 5.
It's double.
Yeah, it's double that, so there's clearly something going on there. For the nickel, the nickel's above, I forgot what the nickel criteria, I have to go back to the other one. That's above in that well. So both of those, that's in the deep well, and that's headed towards the residential neighborhood in Northborough on the other side of the aqueduct.
And are they on wells?
This is a great,
Yeah,
I don't know, if you go to keep going, there, so, next one. Are they on wells? So, to me, I'm surprised that there's even, okay, there's the question of wells. The first question is, well, there's the surface aqueduct, right? The blue line right here.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Sure.
also the deep
You mean the one
aqueduct.
that goes into Boston?
These are both going to Boston. This
Yeah.
is the one where, the one that's 90 feet down is this one that goes right under, or right past SA Farm. Why would somebody not be interested in, okay, as far as you've measured, as deep as you've measured, you've found stuff, why are we not trying to find out where the bottom of the plume is? If you go to the next one, there's great aqueducts there, Berlin wells, so within that half-mile radius, all the little red stars, and the purple star is the Alden Drive one, all the little red stars are residential lots within Berlin that we don't have public water. So where exactly those people have wells, I don't know, but they're on private water.
Has Karen had her well tested?
She said that DEP has tested it a long time, or a while ago, not recently.
Right.
So.
And when they tested it, she was okay?
I think she was okay, yeah,
Yeah.
she was okay, yeah. She's also, again,
She's up higher though, isn't she?
she's actually not, so again, this is if it's running north, this is north, so it's the plume.
Oh, it's going that
Releases are
way.
heading in this direction, and
Yeah.
Karen's up in here.
Yep.
So she's probably, it's probably okay. It's more the Northborough neighborhood that's over on the other side of the aqueduct, all these folks, than the folks up in here.
Sure.
So, there hasn't been, as far as they've looked and as deep as they've looked, DEP has seen effects. And they haven't continued to go deeper to limit, because one of the first things you do at a site like this is say, all right, and the DEP would say, I'll pick on an ex-client or a client, GE, if they did this, they'd say, characterize the plume. We want to know where the bottom is, and we want to know where the edges are.
Yeah.
Because
And
we
you're,
wanna know how
you're
far-
paying for it.
And you're paying for it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So that hasn't happened here. And the last slide, I think, is that March 2016 report basically says they estimate between 55,000 and 85,000 cubic yards of material were brought onto the farm. Well, it wasn't a farm at that time. And that's the acidic leachate is coming from that, and that's what is the source. That's a huge source, and that's a lot of fill. And so who knows how long
And
that will run.
has it been disclosed where that came from?
Yes.
I know what the rumor is, but.
No, the FAST report talks about some of it that came from Worcester, I think in part in construction of the UMass UMass Medical Center.
The newer campus?
The newer campus. Then some of it came from Connecticut. And
A lot of it came from Boston in the beginning.
I'm not sure. I'd have to
That's
look
the
at the
rumor
facts.
that I have always heard.
Okay.
Is that it came from the Big Dig.
Yeah, I don't. I could look. I don't think that's.
Well-
I don't think that's true.
One place was they had a big convention down by,
Yeah, I don't have the fast report.
down by the ocean or something.
Seaport?
And they had fish, that was brought in from there, that the garbage from Boston was
Mhm.
coming into Northborough.
So, well, again, this is related to the air releases, and one of the things that was happening was that more material was being brought on, organic material, that in theory was being brought on to feed the animals that are on the farm. They were bringing in a lot more than the animals could eat, so they were composting it, and that
But
was all
Stuff
stopped.
that was being brought in to feed the animals, like frozen turkeys.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, you can read about
Love
how
that
it's
drone
moving.
footage.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
will say too, that people in that neighborhood felt like the town of Northborough was not supporting them.
Mhm.
They actually got together and they hired a lawyer
Yep,
to
Yeah.
represent them,
they did.
and they really didn't get much of anywhere,
Well,
Except they got it shut down.
they,
Right.
exactly right,
That's the one thing they did.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was, and yeah, if not for, they actually, I would say they did great in terms of, they focused on the air releases and they got those stopped. So
Right.
that they could
Right.
go outside in the summer and enjoy their yards and all that kind of stuff.
So couldn't the rest of us.
Yeah, and there, yeah, so So that's what the fill is, I could look up the FAST report, I have it on my computer. I don't think it was Boston, I think it may have been Framingham. I don't think it was the Big Dig.
Could be, but some of it
Yeah.
did come from Boston.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So anyway,
Yeah.
that's the story. I mean, and you know, if it was me and it was a client of mine, they would be worried about, okay, we're exceeding drinking water criteria for arsenic, and just so you, I mean, the drinking water criteria is based on cancer risk,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a criteria that's set not based on health, but it's set based on what's easy to measure and economical to measure. The cancer risk that it is set at is like, and this won't mean anything to you guys, I don't think much, 2 in 10,000, which is about the top end of what EPA says is allowable at a Superfund site. So the drinking water criteria is at that concentration. If you're 10 times above that, you're 10 times above what EPA would think is allowable at a Superfund site.
Right.
So, I ask the same question you do, and we'll see what the answer is as to why they're not more being done. Even if you don't care about the trout, what about the people
Sure.
and the
Yeah.
wells?
Yeah.
So would you say that lawsuit is what was the catalyst that stopped what was going on at SA? Was it DEP?
Oh, yeah, no,
It was-
absolutely.
it was DEP.
I think the neighborhood forced
DEP's hand.
DEP's hand.
Oh, okay, got it,
Um,
got it.
Yeah, I think that's right, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and they
That's
also
important to know, though,
forced
I mean,
it
going
to go to
forward, right?
court.
Yes, yeah.
Pardon?
Does
They
the
also
precedent
forced
make
it
any
to go to
difference?
court.
Exactly.
They
Right.
look
Yeah.
at, again, when there's the culprit is not hiding, we know where.
No,
this
that's
person
right.
would be.
I mean, yeah, I think sadly that is the precedent, that it looks like, you keep asking the question of why is more not being done here to characterize it and mitigate it, which is fascinating, given what's happened to the trout, given what's in the groundwater. Does it mean, and that's, I think, one reason why ORS wants me to reach out to people and say, what else do you guys know? Is this it? I mean,
Right.
and then what are they gonna do about it, if anything? They don't know what they're gonna do about it, they're just trying to figure it out. But the precedent would suggest that, sadly, it's not DEP that's gonna do something about it on their own.
Right.
Right.
Well, if there's anything that we can do, if we can, offer support
Yeah.
in any way, we really can't help monetarily much.
Right.
We have volunteers if we
Right.
need to go out and put on boots and
Yep.
test water. I'm sure
Yeah.
we can wrangle people to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely keep us in the loop, and I definitely would love to see if we can talk to the Wheeler Pond people
Folks, yeah,
and see if, and see what they know,
yeah,
see, what they've done, what they're willing to do, and,
yeah. I really think that what you're hearing is they know no more than I just told you. And this is all, like I said, really recent news to them.
right.
And your question is a good one. What can you do to mitigate? So I don't know, what are you gonna do to mitigate the releases? I mean, based on my experience at a lot of other sites, it is a very expensive exercise. I mean,
Sure.
you have to capture the groundwater and treat it before it goes anywhere and before it gets released into the stream. And that would mean drilling a whole series of wells to capture the groundwater, treat the groundwater, and then you can release it. That's not even saying, okay, now what's getting into the stream is back to sort of normal. Now you gotta restore the stream. But at least you've stopped the elevated
Right, well,
concentrations.
and scrape all that back, but what do you do with it?
Yeah, and it's not, I think it's pretty clear to me at least, and I think the FAST report talks about it, it's not overland runoff. That's, that there was some early reports of some streams or some rivulets coming off the SA Farm site going into Coolidge Brook that also had low pH. But the majority of it is, it's getting
Percolating.
into the groundwater and then coming out and daylighting. So you'd have to
So
drill
it's-
wells,
Yeah,
to stop that, to catch that groundwater. You'd have to do the same, that's on the stream part. You'd have to do it if it's getting into people's wells on the other side of the aqueduct. You'd have to do stop that water too. So there's a lot of water to potentially trap
Right.
and treat. And that doesn't even get into sort of, okay, now we're gonna restore the creek. That'd probably be the easy part, actually. I
Right,
mean,
sure.
Once you stop
Once
the-
you stop the contamination.
Yeah, once
Yeah.
you stop the releases, yeah.
Yep.
So,
Well, good work.
well,
And,
there's no.
You know, but it's, I can't imagine how much work you've got into this now.
Well, you just have to pull the data together. I mean, I've done that my whole life, so.
Well,
So just tell me one quick question. Was it that much fun, more fun than being on the commission 25 years ago?
What, this or?
Yeah. Well, you were on the commission, right?
Oh, a long time ago. But we didn't have anything like this to deal with. I mean, it was, it
no,
was
I mean,
just
how many
helping us.
filings a year did you guys get?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
There weren't that many. I mean, it was what
Probably
the
a
town was
handful.
2,400
Right.
people,
Well,
or 2,500 people.
let me just say this, the NOI we just did tonight was number 283.
Oh, wow. Not for the year.
No,
No.
since the beginning of issuing DEP numbers.
Oh, DEP numbers, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
um,
there are many fewer.
yes. I mean, we would still only get a handful a year, really.
Yeah, last year was 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I don't even remember. I don't remember. We were worried about preserving land, and that's gone reasonably well.
Yeah, yes, it has.
Yeah. So, and then I was, who was the chairperson before you? John?
John Aney?
John Aney.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
John and I talked. I helped him do some path, trail maintenance and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So like at 40 Caves and things like
Yep.
that, we did some work. That was like 3 years ago. When did he resign?
Probably about 3 years ago, right?
Was it 3 years ago?
Yeah,
Or
it was like during COVID.
right, so it was
22
probably
maybe?
21, 22.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
It was after the last attempt at a bylaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's when Tim wanted me to talk to now Mike, who's passed away, to say, okay, can we get something reasonable
Right.
done? So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's still time to do that. So.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we are looking at doing a stormwater bylaw.
Yeah.
Um,
I haven't done much stormwater stuff.
No.
No. No. All right.
Cool.
No other questions? Hopefully this was useful.
Yeah, definitely. No questions from you?
No. Remarkable piece of work.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was easy.
Awesome, and thank you for bringing it to us, and,
Yeah,
you know.
and that's the idea, is to sort of, we'll see what Oars does too, I
Yeah.
think I'll get back to them, and I need to find out what Northborough's thinking.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I hope this isn't the last time we have a conversation about this.
No, and in fact, I talked to Paul McKelk
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
at the transfer station, and he was interested in hearing about this, so maybe I'll reach out to the Board of Health, because
Yeah.
they'd be interested in the second half of this.
Certainly.
In terms
Absolutely,
of
yeah.
whatever's going on, so.
Yeah.
I'd present sort of most of the second half of the presentation to them.
Yep.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, all
Yeah.
right.
Well, good luck, and, again, reach out if there's anything we can do.
Yep, I'll definitely do that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Was Skip Duggan the person you were trying to think of?
No,
Steve?
no, it was a guy, he lived over on Colson. I don't know that you were here. I know you were.
Yes.
I can see him in my mind.
I know Skip, so, this is a long time ago, but the select board had Emerson and me and Skip trying to figure out whether town should buy the Bonazzoli Dam from the Bonazzolis.
We've been offered it many times.
Yes, yeah. That committee sort of fell apart because Em and I both, I think we went to, Bolton had a meeting, their Concom had a meeting about something they had to do for a dam restoration, and we said, no, we're hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
the town cannot afford this, we want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, especially once the state
Yes.
declared it a hazard.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
They tried to give it to us, they tried to give it to SVT, and we
Yeah.
were like, thank you, no.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's where we were come out too, so,
Yeah, yeah.
all right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Paul.
Yep.
So he lived on Coastal Road?
Yeah.
Can't think of who that
I
was.
can't for the life of me. It'll like at 3 in the morning. I'll be like, oh.
That's the name.
Yeah, he was only on for maybe a year. Like it wasn't a long
Okay.
time.
Lee Tabor?
No,
No.
no.
No, he lives on South.
He was before, Lee was on when I was on with
Hmm?
Preston.
Yeah, Lee. I was on with Lee for maybe 2 years. So he probably left the commission about 10 years ago.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you were, okay. Did you remember what year that was?
Mm.
Well, when did you join?
I believe it was 12 years ago.
12 years ago?
My 28-year-old daughter was a sophomore in high school.
Okay. I've got
So-
the town reports. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I think it was 12 years ago.
Hmm.
It's a long time.
Yes, it is. A long time.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
I know, right?
So
Are they still importing stuff there?
I don't think so. That's what we were talking about.
Sense
All
of
right,
that.
so, well, let's go back up to,
up to the top.
yeah, bills and forms.
Bills and forms. You have a reimbursement request?
I
for-
threw a receipt in the box, right?
Maybe it was below. Did you put it below like clipboard?
The Conservation Commission box?
I
It
registered
was
for the,
my receipt for the,
Okay.
yeah,
MACC.
I haven't done the form though.
Oh, that's okay.
Yep.
I don't think
The
I saw it
form
in
we can
there,
do.
but
Oh, okay,
maybe I
thank
missed it. I looked at it quickly.
Do you wanna go run and see
Sure,
if it's
yeah.
there?
Yeah.
I think I dropped it off one day when the day I was over here for the budget.
Right.
FinCom.
We're on bills and forms. Okay. AJ's looking for his reimbursement that he put into the mailbox.
No other bills or forms or mailer notices.
Okay. Well, we can, yeah. Yeah, email's been pretty quiet,
Yeah.
which is nice. Yeah. All right, well, we'll wait for AJ to come, when AJ comes back, we can address the reimbursements, but, enforcement orders, we don't really have anything
Nope.
happening
no
with.
updates there. Same with 10 Bigelow Road. No updates there.
Yeah, nothing's gonna be happen up there until the thaw.
We need to do minutes too, right, now that Phil's here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank
Thank you, Lexi. Now we have to wait for AJ to come back, so. And no trail maintenance, anything, because Ethan's not here and it's winter. Same with the line.
I'll print another copy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's do Phil's reimbursement right now.
Okay, the total is $180 for the MACC annual conference.
And Lexi, you registered, right?
I was going to, and then I need to wait till I get paid.
Okay.
So I haven't yet,
Okay.
but I should this week.
Okay, and when you do, make sure you print the receipt
Oh, I
so you
will.
can get reimbursed.
Well, that's an affordability issue. I mean, they, $30 jump, I mean,
Yeah,
from last year, isn't
Yeah,
it? It was
it-
$150 last year, I thought.
yeah. Yeah, everything's more expensive.
Right.
Okay,
Just 20%.
yeah. Can I have a motion to reimburse Phil $180 for registering for the MACC conference?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank
You're
you.
gonna sign there.
Sorry, that
Thank
went
you.
missing.
And you're
We're
gonna
sorry.
sign there. Yeah.
Oh, it should say to come out of the,
Wetlands, can we do wetlands?
I don't know that, we can try wetlands, cause it's education about wetlands. Let's see if June lets us. And if not, it'll have to be the budget.
Sounds good.
Did we vote?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Excellent, so that's bills and forms. Moving right along, conservation restrictions.
No real updates there. All three of them are in the same waiting periods that they have been. We're either waiting for comments, we're waiting to receive a draft. So, sit and wait
Just-
game.
Yep, yep. Ball Hill Forest Stewardship Plan.
I've not heard back from Gary. I let
I
him.
did see that you reached out.
Yes, I let him know we're ready.
Yeah.
I follow up,
Yep.
see if we can get any movement.
All right. Not much going on with Tohoto, true?
Phil,
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not really sure, maybe Louise knows more. Things have changed at the top.
We've heard.
Yeah. So I was pleased because the person I've worked with really from day one is Rich Cameron. He was one of the vice principals or assistant principals, whatever the right title was. So I reached out to him, after our discussion at the last meeting, and he said, I want to set up a meeting right away. And I said, that's great. But I looked at his signature, principal.
Okay.
So he responded, and we have a meeting for Friday at 1 o'clock. And
This Friday?
this Friday
What, at 1 o'clock
at 1 o'clock.
Tohoto?
At Tohoto. And I
Okay.
invited AJ as well, and if Lexi, if you want to come, I mean.
I work tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
what is Friday?
Friday.
Tomorrow's
Meeting Friday.
Thursday.
I work Friday. I don't work
Oh,
tomorrow.
And they love the poster idea that
Okay.
you'd suggested, which is obvious. He's going to reach out with the faculty, and he'd like to see, I don't know if we have a map that we can use, I don't know that I have any of those that or maybe you do.
Yeah, I think I do.
And then we
Louise,
can,
give
kind of give them a game, an operational guide of what we did. But they're looking at how the students can get extra credit, look at the student council. Now, everything has to be approved by the central, which is
Sure.
obvious.
Yep.
But very interested. He's a great guy. I think he's going to bring a lot of new ideas and energy. I didn't think there was anything wrong with, but hey, I have no clue.
Right, right.
So I'm sure there are people that know. I don't know if it really matters from
Yeah.
our point. So, but we've got a guy who I'm confident will be a really good partner in reaching out through the faculty. He's very well respected. I mean, they wouldn't have appointed him if he wasn't. So I think that we just need to get some information on what will be helpful for him, how they can integrate this with the classroom work, so they can try to make sure we're touching on the ecological, environmental, all the things that have worked, and look at it from a historical standpoint, how it's really changed the environmental movement. This is just one small step.
Sure.
We can do that. Things that we all know, but how, again, we can make that work and get more drawing. We're not building birdhouses this year, but there's another good way to keep,
Yeah.
bring these young people into the play. So,
I have a comment.
yes.
When this first came up, was it about 2 years ago?
What was that?
We had an open house at 19 Carter with the superintendent, and I asked straight out. In fact, I sent her the email in advance. This is what I'm going to ask. Is there a volunteer requirement for graduation? She said no. But I didn't say, is there a civics requirement? And I don't know if that could also fit in here.
That's a great question.
But I heard something about civics. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I think that's a good
the high
question.
school where I came from I didn't go there. But, because in the Pleistocene era, we didn't have high school. But, yeah,
Date on
they
the-
had a volunteer
paper that I gave you,
requirement,
is there a
like
date?
20 or 40 hours or something for graduation. Yeah, it was pretty significant, and our Environmental Management Commission hosted high school students all the time for cleanup and whatever,
Right.
anyway.
Now, kind of a separate issue, but maybe to bring up, what about our scout group? They did such a great job. Should we reach out to our scout that, you know, we helped out with, we did that bridge and everything? I don't know, it's just a thought, you know.
Ishan?
Yeah.
So he was from Northborough.
So I don't know whether that, you know, maybe that's too far afield, and it's not,
Yeah, I
it's not
mean,
part of this.
it like,
Maybe
it
that's
wouldn't
just-
be part of the school for sure, but anything
No.
we did with the school, cause Northborough has their own high school.
No, I understood.
Cool.
I just meant,
Regional,
just
but-
as an aside, you know, is that another
Sure.
possible
Absol-
volunteer
for
source?
Earth Day?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
Earth Day.
Absolutely, we could,
And think about it again.
I spoke with James Holyoke, who is deeply involved in the Scouts here in town, about the Story Trail.
mm-hmm,
And he said, we don't have anybody in line for an Eagle Scout project. And that's how I framed it. But that doesn't mean that Scouts aren't gonna pitch in.
Right.
But I had framed it around, this could be a nice Eagle Scout project,
right.
especially labor.
But-
But I think it's, so if you wanna get in touch with James, or I can.
Well, I think maybe that might be better from that standpoint. I just brought it up. But
Right.
again, I never really worked with him closely, so I
Okay.
think that would be good. But I think that it'll be interesting to see how, would you be able to join us on Friday? Would you like to come?
Hmm?
Would you like to come to the meeting with us on Friday? Can you do that?
Yeah, well,
Good.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I think we have a good opportunity with a new key person who can speak for the school and I think make a persuasive argument, whatever they need to do to get the approval from Central.
Right.
And then we'll look at what best practices, what's worked, what we'd like to do better going forward, but having more people involved is a good
Sure,
thing.
yep.
Young, active, healthy,
Yep.
motivated. They
Low
get
to the
extra
ground.
credit. Better snacks, I don't know, whatever teenagers, you know, get excited about these
Right.
days. I don't know.
Well, I just happened to be going through some of my old papers and everything, and I came across the minutes from a meeting on June 12th, 2023. We met with Lisa Sequeira, the principal,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
and these are the things we talked about.
Oh, cool.
Right, just happened to pull it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually had a list of kids that said that they would like to, right.
Yep.
Coincidence, huh?
Well, I think that would be really helpful, you know,
Yeah.
all those things to bring up, so.
Yeah, I can make
Yeah.
copies of the minutes. if you-
Super.
Okay.
And you've got the maps that where everybody went. And there's no reason to
I'm
think that
gonna
we
take
can't
this
use,
back, Okay.
Berlin Realty like we did the last time too.
We're gonna get
That'd
rid
be,
of
Right.
the meeting.
So James Holyoke owns that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got it. Thank you.
And his wife for many years was active in helping us
Okay.
also,
I'm gonna
so.
take this
Good.
back.
You didn't meet her last year,
No,
but
give it
I
back.
think she was,
She was traveling or something, right?
yeah, caring for an elderly, an ailing parent or something like that. Yeah, I
Right.
remember that.
Yep.
Now, just, could we, for example, so if the poster winner, if that's what happens,
Mhm.
can we put that on our website? Is that conceivable, or would that work, or, I'm just saying, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but I mean, it'd be nice to try to promote whoever might be selected, if that's the case.
Yeah, I think we'll have to see about the website. The website's a little trickier, but we can definitely put it on our Facebook page.
Great idea.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, I still have the signs, they're in our basement from last year.
I
So
have
we've got as
Cool.
many as-
too.
And
Yep.
you've got some as well, so we have that already, so we should, they
We
didn't have
haven't
a date
printed
on
without
them,
a
thankfully.
date.
Yep.
So they're all fine, so
Right.
with that, we'll just plan on that and
Okay.
keep you abreast then. As you know, it won't be the next meeting, but,
Yes.
but boy, the clock is running. April 11th is not so far
I
away.
know,
and
it's
all
crazy.
of a sudden, right, so.
Yep.
But I don't think there's any reason, and we can think about how we can reach out, or how you, because again, you had a lot of success in getting so many partners and people to donate things. blows for the.
You gotta
banks and
teach
all.
them the tricks.
Mhm.
Teach them the tricks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. Hearing's not that great.
All right.
So that's-
Berlin Public Library project is still on hold for now, till the spring.
Yeah, she's gonna come in March, and I didn't ask her which meeting, but.
I think March 4th
Is
was
she?
what they had planned for.
Right. Okay. I have a sneeze coming. So,
Do we just need to approve the minutes?
we need to approve the minutes, and then I have an update from the CPA meeting last night. Well, I can, oh, my sneeze has decided to not happen.
I was gonna say, I could make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, go ahead, do that.
All right, I make a motion to approve the minutes of January 21st.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, awesome. And, so CPA committee met last night and voted to recommend both of our applications to the select board for inclusion at town meeting. So the money for, the tornado damage and the $100,000 for due diligence for acquisition and or acquisition of property.
And that's like a pot of money, right? That's not active, that's not allocated.
It's allocated for
Yeah.
that,
But not a
those
specific
uses.
project, right? Like
Not
that
a
was-
specific
that was the one
project,
that we were able
correct,
to
right,
get out,
specific
yeah.
uses, but not a specific project.
Yeah.
Right, and, they're asking, and it will probably be included in the warrant, that it will be a separate fund from our regular open space fund, so that it can be more easily tracked.
Makes sense.
Right, exactly. So,
That's good news.
yeah, so,
Nice job.
thank you. Anybody have anything?
Do you wanna talk about this, or no? Maybe not quite yet.
Yeah, let's wait.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Going once?
Make a motion to end the meeting at 8:33 PM?
Second?
Non-debatable, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Too bad.